Hey everybody. Okay, so happy Super Bowl evening. I got to tell you, if I had really wanted to tick you off, and I don't, I would have rescheduled tonight because after we rescheduled it for the first time, it dawned on us that the rescheduled date was Super Bowl. But we know that it's YouTube, and if you don't see it tonight, you'll see it at some point in the week. Let me get right to it because I have committed to Lauren that I was going to start keeping my videos to at least 10 minutes. So let's get started. Welcome to tonight's big announcement. Um, I've been crying, having my moments all day long, emotionally. I'm excited, preparation, make sure everything's in place, everything's aligned, and trying to prepare as well as get the story out. So we have arrived. Welcome to my big announcement. I am here tonight to talk to you about a program, a Black Doll Affair campaign that we will call America the Beautiful, spelled the way we spell beautiful, H-U-E. It is going to be a commemorative celebration of the upcoming 60th anniversary of Brown v. Board, which is the historical Supreme Court case that not only desegregated schools in 1954, but also the historical doll test that was used in Brown versus Board of Education was the reason I created the Black Doll Affair. So every year we try to acknowledge or do something to commemorate the doll tests and America's desegregation laws. And this year I really wanted to figure out something unique and different because it's the 60th anniversary, it's the Jubilee. And I think through this campaign, America the Beautiful, we will get the opportunity to do something huge. In my last address to Hugh, I mentioned that moving forward I would be focused on legacy, and that we would still go to the movies, but we were going to be rooted in building that legacy that we all talk about. And so moving forward into 2014, I just want to reiterate that our mission is to remind a black girl of her beauty, and particularly change the way black girls are perceived, and more importantly, perceive themselves. Together, we have done a great job. Kudos to Hugh. We've done a great job on changing the way black girls see themselves, the black girls perceive themselves. With the anniversary coming up of Brown v. Board, I really wanted to have a conversation about the other part of our mission, and that's to change the way black girls are perceived. The fact of the matter is that as long as we are on this playground called the Black Doll Affair, playing by ourselves, we are going to only continue to do a great job at changing the way black girls are perceived. I've got Pandora on. Please hold. It's a little loud. We really want to continue, we'll obviously continue to on the mission to change how we see ourselves, but we are going to have to get with our porcelain pals to work on the other part of our mission, and that's to change the way we are perceived. So in 1954, during Brown versus the Board of Education, the Supreme Court decided that after witnessing the doll test, after hearing over 200 plaintiff stories brought to the court by Thurgood Marshall, they decided that, you know what, this ain't right, and black children are adversely affected, being segregated, and we are going to make segregation unconstitutional. So here we are with the anniversary coming up, wanting to do something different. I thought, in 60 years, That's huge. How do we celebrate that? Not only in a cheers to Hugh, but in a change the world kind of way. How do we make it significant? And I pondered Martin Luther King's dream, where all God's children, black boys and white girls, Jews and Gentiles, were judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. And I wondered, what do we do with that? I asked, what has anybody done with it? Yes, there's a black president in the White House. Yes, there's MLK Day. Yes, welcome to Black History Month. Yes, there has been efforts, but who has really put into action a campaign to end racism, a campaign to live the dream? Who? Who? Yes, I don't want to discredit people that have, but at the end of the day, I've created this campaign because I don't feel like enough has been done. And I thought, all right, you started the Black Dollar Fair with, what are you going to do about it? So why not kick off this campaign in the same spirit? If not you, then who? If not now, during 60 years of Brown, when? Who is going to tackle racial harmony? And so America the Beautiful will ask that question. But more specifically, this campaign is going to be centered around a question, one very important question, and that is, what's it like to be Hugh? We hear and we joke about, well, my best friends are black, and in this world today, in our multicultural world today, that's true. But how many of us have really sat down with our porcelain pals and said, what's it like to be white? What's it like to be white? How many porcelain pals have asked you, what's it like to be black? And when they ask that question, and here is the true challenge, did they listen? Isn't that key? So America the Beautiful is centered around asking the question, listening and hearing the answer, and not rejecting what we hear, because I believe that until we come together, we will forever remain apart, right? And in a quote that I heard recently by Ayanla, "A wound needs a witness," which I just love. The challenge in this nationwide campaign and this nationwide question to ask Americans, what's it like to be Hugh? In the challenge of in the spirit of a wound need a witness, the challenge is to listen. So it is a storytelling campaign, if you will, and it is going to be nationwide, and we are going to involve nationwide personalities, nationwide media. We are going to involve our partners in diversity. We're obviously going to involve the Black Dolls and our Porcelain Pals. We are going to get Americans involved through concerts, through colorful conversations, and a campaign on Facebook, a nationwide campaign off our Facebook page and onto America the Beautiful Facebook page with the campaign and questions, sort of an online exhibition, if you will, answering that question. All right? So that is the challenge, that is the promotion, and that is what I'm most excited about. So what's the big news? The big news is, in my journey to ask this question and create this campaign, I picked up the phone and I called on the Brown Foundation. And I got a return phone call from Cheryl Brown. Who is Cheryl Brown? Well, she is the youngest sibling in the Brown family, as in Brown v. Board. And she is sort of the steward of the history of and making sure America gets it right in terms of telling the story of Brown v. Board. Her sister, Linda Brown, is the child that has become the focal point of the Brown v. Board conversation. Her father was the man who became the namesake of Brown v. Board, and her mother, Viola, who's still living, obviously is her mother, Viola. And Terry is the other third sister. So who are they to you? They are the Brown family. Meet the Browns. Tonight I introduce to you Cheryl Brown Henderson. She is coming into the Black Doll Affair as the newest member of our Black Doll collection, and she is going to play the role of a legacy doll. And what is a legacy doll? A doll that is 50 years and older, that is there to remind us of our legacy. In so keeping, I made another phone call to Robin P. Hickman. Robin P. Hickman is the great niece of Gordon Parks. Gordon is the famed civil rights photographer who, ironically, is responsible for that famous black and white photo of the black child, the black boy, choosing the white doll. She is his niece, and she is a black doll. These two women will act, along with other nationwide profile narrators, will act as national treasure narrators. They will act as sort of, not as sort of, they will act as narrators of our history, of our past, and of our present. Cheryl, in particular, will be there to talk to us during our campaigns and narrations of our past. Robin, as a photographer herself, will be there to sort of capture the campaign and present-day racial harmony. And of course, we are going to go into colleges across America to speak to students, our future, and have notable national treasure narrators of that age group to come on board the campaign. So welcome, meet the Browns, meet the Browns, and Robin P. Hickman. They are the latest additions of our family. Why is that significant and big news to me? I talked about some very iconic, I'm not gonna cry. I talked about some very iconic moments in the Black Doll Affair. This is the next one. Just because this was supposed to be a one-time Christmas party, and what's playing out is something that seems of destiny, something that seems written in the stars. It was big when we got our own day in Georgia. It was big when Congressman John Lewis invited us to his White House or Washington, D.C. office, and we sat and watched his civil rights video in his personal office. It was big when we spoke to Carrie Davis's mom, the girl who was the doll test video narrator, documentarist. That's not the word I'm looking for, but it's the word that's going to play out tonight, because I told Lauren I would keep it under 10 minutes. These things are big. To have the Browns come on board, to be on the phone with Cheryl, to talk to her about the doll tests and the other families that were a part of Brown v. Board, to sort of talk about how we will collaborate in bringing the Brown legacy into the Black legacy. It's huge. It's huge. And to have Gordon Parks, the famed photographer who was there to document the original doll test, to have his niece as a black doll, it makes me cry. It really does. It makes me cry, because it reminds me that what we're doing here is so much bigger than a t-shirt or the donation of a toy black doll. And those are obviously significant parts of what we do, but the older we get, the more I'm starting to realize that the Black Doll Affair is seriously rooted in American history, and that is huge. To be a part of the conversation of 60th anniversary of Brown v. Board, to be with the family during the 60th Jubilee as a part of our family. Well, people, that's huge. And that is the big news. So please join me in going to members and clicking on Cheryl's link and introducing yourself to the newest member of our family. Look forward to an email that will come out tonight from Lauren giving you a link to affairs that we have coming out, our Facebook page that we want you to like, and campaigns that kick off the next part of our legacy, and that is the Beautiful America, the Beautiful campaign. Super excited, and can't even tell you what this means for this black child who literally sat in this very kitchen 6 years ago and asked the question after seeing so many people harp on this doll test documentary by Kira Davis that was on the Oprah Winfrey Show that harkened back to Brown v. Board, and having asked the question, what are you going to do about it? To have Cheryl Brown Henderson and Robin P. Hickman on our side as black dolls in really parts of history that I wasn't even born yet. And so it seems as though, for me, for you, for us, we were born into an opportunity to pass the baton in American history and to be able to create a campaign that brings our multicultural world together during a canvas and conversation of a court case where we were all so segregated, is a huge honor and a great opportunity. And I just thank you all for helping us to get there and continuing the legacy and welcoming our newest members to the family. With that, look forward to lots to come. We're gonna go places. Speaking of, well, we got some big stuff that we have some big stuff planned that I won't go into because I'm now at 17 minutes and 35 seconds. So that's it. I love Hugh. I do. I love Hugh. And wow, that's all I can say. Wow, and thank you. Thank you, and good night. Cheryl, Robin, let's do this.